We all have a few scary moments in life that we'll never forget. You know what I mean? A time when something is happening or about to happen, and you know the outcome could be really bad, and it's happening so fast you don't even have time to react. It's almost like you're watching a movie and just waiting to see how it's going to end. One moment like that for me was several years ago when we lived up north. Winters in Maine can be pretty brutal, and part of that is that sometimes the roads can be icy and dangerous for driving. I remember one day I was driving on a rural country road, just 2 lanes, and the weather conditions were not good. There was some snow, but I also knew that the road had patches of ice, so I was moving along pretty carefully. Then I saw, coming my direction, was a small pickup truck. But he had already hit a big icy section, and he was coming downhill toward me, and he was just spinning in circles. This guy had absolutely no control, just doing 360s as he came down this hill in my direction. And there really was nothing I could do either. I just figured, okay, here we go. This is going to happen, I guess. I wasn't too concerned about getting injured because we weren't going at high speeds. I just knew that a collision was about to happen. But amazingly, as this truck finally reached me, he was somehow able to stay on his side of the road while he kept going in circles right past me. I watched in my rearview mirror as he eventually regained control, and we each went on our way. Just part of life when you live in a cold climate. My guest today is Marsha. She had a moment kind of like that once. She looked up and saw headlights coming her direction. But it wasn't a car coming at her. It was a plane. Real people in unreal situations.
The eerie silence when I walked in, and he's just staring at me.
I was like, hello, like, are you okay? And then I had to tell him it was me.
There was just blood everywhere.
They're shouting, they're screaming, they're being hit by bullets, they're hitting the ground.
And in that moment, I literally thought, this is how I die.
Everything changed then.
And I just thought to myself, this isn't happening.
Every single story deserves to be heard.
I'm Scott Johnson, and this is What Was That Like? You live in Odessa, Texas. Have you always lived there?
I have lived here for most of my life. I mean, this is hometown. This is where I always end up at.
The situation at the time when this occurred, you were working 2 jobs. What were you doing?
My primary job was I was a waitress at a small cafe here in Odessa. And my second job was I worked at a boarding kennel for dogs. And basically I worked 7 days a week. And on the days I didn't work at the kennel, I was watching my granddaughters, picking them up from school. So just always busy, always on the go.
Wow. I bet you don't have any hobbies. You don't have time for them.
No, sleep.
Yeah,
Sleep
there
is
you
my
go.
hobby.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
And where were you living at the time?
At the time, I was living in a camper that I had lived in for about 5 years, very small, and it was very crowded, but you know, it was okay.
And the diner where you worked, what was the name of it, and can you just tell us about that?
So it was called Dewey's Breakfast Shop. It was just a small cafe that had been there for about 10 or 11 years. It was just a small place that, you know, everyone was a regular and I knew everyone. I knew them by name. I, interacted with my customers as almost a friend rather than just a server. I knew, all their family members, their friends, coworkers, and I really enjoyed my interactions with customers, and some of them, built relationships outside of work with them. And yeah, I've really enjoyed that.
And how long had you worked there?
I was almost there for 6 years, right before the crash.
The name of it, you said, is Dewey's Breakfast Shop. Did they only serve breakfast?
No, we did breakfast and lunch. We did outside caterings, and that was pretty much it.
And you knew everyone. It sounds kind of like Cheers.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone knows your name.
And it sounds kind of like a job where you pretty much knew what to expect every day.
Pretty much. It was a lot of repeat customers and the usual, but, the twist thrown in every day with never knowing what to expect sometimes.
I don't know. Is Odessa, is that a tourist place? I mean, could you expect people sometimes to come in and you've never seen them before?
We are in the oil fields of West Texas. It's not a tourist place. It's there was always new people coming in, but it was mainly people that were here to work.
Okay. Was this a standalone building, the diner, or were there other businesses in the same building?
No, it was just the restaurant.
What else is nearby? I thought I heard there was a mobile home park nearby or something.
Yeah, there were other private residences in the area. There were other businesses, and we were just directly across the street from a private airport, so we had a lot of traffic going through on our main road.
So you were used to seeing planes go overhead?
Yeah, they were taking off all the time, landing all the time. It wasn't an uncommon occurrence. It had, every day we heard them.
Okay, let's talk about what happened on that day. What time did you go into work to prep for that day?
Every morning we would get there at 6:30 to set everything up for the day, make all the teas, get coffees ready, prep all the food, just have everything ready to open the doors at 7. And at that time, there's only 3 of us that work there because it's a small place. So it was just me and our 2 cooks that were there. I had just turned around facing the front door to start walking to it to open it, and that's when I saw the plane coming across the fence.
When you say coming across the fence, I mean, how high was the plane? Obviously, it was low if it hit the building, but...
I mean, the fence was probably, 6-10 feet tall. I'm not exactly sure. But normally the planes take off further down the runway, and they're already higher up in the air, so it's never been an issue.
So this was a plane that was taking off, not landing?
Yes, it was taking off, and just from what I remember seeing, I turned around to walk to the front door because our front door faces directly the end of the runway. I turned around and I just saw lights because it was still kind of dark at the time. And I just saw the lights, and it was extremely loud. And basically, by the time I realized what was happening, the plane had already hit the building. It took half of our roof off. That's when it, crashed in the alley right behind us.
Obviously, when you saw those lights, you knew immediately it was a plane.
It took me a moment to realize what I was seeing. I didn't really have time to kind of process what I was seeing. And, like I said, before I even realized it had already hit the building.
Yeah, when something like that is so unexpected, you really don't have time to react.
Exactly, yeah.
So what did you do immediately?
By the time I realized what was happening and it hit the building, we have the front door, and then we have our back door that's over on the other side of the building. I took off running to that because I didn't know if the plane was inside or I didn't know what was happening. And the 2 ladies were already, in the kitchen. They didn't see it. They just, heard it when it hit the building and shook everything, and the power went out immediately. We had bars on our back door that were still engaged, and the ladies were just screaming because they couldn't get them open. And so I ran over there, and they were screaming, Marsha, open the door, open the door. I managed to get the door open, and all 3 of us just took off running to one of the houses directly behind us where one of our employees lived at.
What made you decide to run to that house? Because that person lived there, or you didn't know what to do? Or?
Yeah, basically. We just took off running. I didn't know what to do. We just ran.
Did you see anything, any of the parts of the plane or anything when you went out the back door?
At that point, I mean, I didn't notice any debris, but after the fact, we did notice that there was pieces of it in our drive-through area, and our employee that lived directly behind us, one of the landing gear was in her backyard. But basically, I didn't have time to notice anything at that moment. When it hit our building, the landing gear is what hit our roof and ripped it off. One of the landing gears was in our roof with other pieces of the plane.
Meaning the wheels of the plane.
Yes, yeah. The whole like landing gear assembly was in our roof. At that point, it went across the top of our roof, and it crashed in the alley, probably like almost a block away, at the end of the alley on that street.
Could you see it?
It burst into flames, and by the time we got outside, it was already in flames. There was nothing that I could see at that moment because, there were other houses, and I couldn't see anything at that point. So at that point, I did not go inside. The other employee, Naomi, she went inside to get her mother out. I stood outside, and because I still had my phone in my hand, I called 911 and, reported everything. And immediately after I got off of that phone call, I called the owner to let them know what just happened.
And there were a lot of people that called 911.
Yes, apparently there were a lot.
Yes, and because people either heard it or saw the aftermath, or people just driving by even, could have seen it. I got a lot of 911 audios for this incident, but unfortunately none of them were yours. And I don't know, that doesn't make any sense to me, but there were so many calls, I guess they have trouble keeping track of all of them. So we'll play some of that 911 audio here, and then for anyone that wants to listen, I will have all of those 911 calls for this plane crash at the end of this episode so that you can listen to that if you want to.
Hector County 911 with you.
We just had a plane crash. I'm over here. What street is this? A plane just crashed right in front of us.
Okay, where at?
It's a building. I don't know where I'm at. I'm up the old airport right here. I'm up here by the old airport off of 385 and Andrews.
What did it crash into?
It crashed into a house. Y'all need to get over here. Everything on fire, man. It hit a power line and everything. Like, it's smoking. It just took off from the airport. It just took off from the airport.
Okay, so like from Schlemeyer Field?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the phone number you're calling from?
Yeah, I got to get over here, man.
Okay,
I thought I was fucking sipping, bro.
Do you know the street of the house that it crashed into?
Did you scoot up a little? Bring it up before I can see it. I'm trying to see it right now. Hey, put out this shit. Yeah, it crashed. It hit a power line.
Okay, is it on Alderfer?
Let me see. Let me look on my map. I can't. Oh, fuck, man. That's scary. If he scoot up, we can get that street. Yeah, he just took off from the airport. Yeah, that's fucking, that's crazy. It's by the cotton. We're right here by the cotton pipe yard. That's right there by his house. Oh, fuck. Yeah, you might have to call. We're right here by the cotton pipe
yard. Help on the way there, but I need to know exactly what it is that's going on and that you see.
Man, the plane is on fire. Y'all need to get over here. Some people probably be dead. That's how bad it is, man. I know for sure it hit somebody's house. No, I can't. I haven't even drove up to it. I pulled up on side the road, but that's it. That's it. It's bad. It's black smoke everywhere. Like trees and everything finna catch on fire.
Okay, all right. We have this in and we have help on the way. Okay, just stay away.
I got to call. Yeah, it's blowing up too. I got to call my homeboy because it crashed like kind of over there by his house. Yeah, his house is right there.
Okay, all right. We have them on the way. Anchor County 911. What's the address of your emergency?
We just saw a plane crash. I just watched the plane crash.
Where at?
On Yukon, right by the fire station, right across from the fire station on Yukon. It hit a power line and it's burning. It's burning.
Okay, we have them out there, ma'am. Okay, we're going to get somebody out there. Do you know how many? It was just a plane?
It was just a small plane. It took off from the airport, hit a power line on the south side of Yukon, and it's burning. It's just black smoke. It's literally across the fire station on Yukon.
Yes, ma'am. We're going to get somebody out there. Thank you, okay?
So you called the owner of the restaurant after that. What was that phone call like?
So I was very shaken up. I was crying. She hardly could understand what I was saying. I finally got it across to her what was going on. Of course, I'm on my way. At the time, that's when I'm, looking around and I see people running out of their houses and running away from everything. And I don't know, I was like, everybody's running away. And I just felt like I need to run down there and see if I can do anything. And I took off running down towards the end of the street. And whenever I got down there, of course, everything's on fire. I just remember watching it. And immediately I was like, there's nothing that I can do. Luckily, the fire department is right across the street from us. So they were there almost immediately. But still, I knew that there was nothing that I could do. I stood there for a minute, just in shock. That's when things started exploding and pieces were flying. And I took off running back down the street towards the restaurant. I didn't want to get hit with anything. So, yeah, I ran back to the restaurant and pieces were exploding all the ways down to the end of the block and falling into the restaurant parking lot. I was like, I'm going to move my car. But whenever I was going to go get my keys, all the fire trucks were there blocking everything in. So, I couldn't move anything. I just had this feeling like I got to go down there and see if I can help or do something. It was a very helpless feeling to stand there and watch it and know I can't do anything. Whenever I got back towards the restaurant, was in the parking lot, I was trying to call my kids. I tried to call my oldest son, and he didn't answer because, it's early in the morning. He didn't answer, so I called my other son, and he didn't answer. I really didn't want to call my daughter because it was early in the morning for her. She was on vacation in Oregon, so I knew it was really early in the morning, and she was actually getting on a plane to come back home to Texas that day. But I still called her, and she answered, and basically immediately, as soon as she heard my voice, she knew something was wrong.
Marsha's daughter, Kaylee.
When she called me, I was on the West Coast, so I was 2 hours behind. So it was about 5 a.m. for me when she called. And it was so early that I was very disoriented. But as soon as I answered her call, I knew that something was very wrong. She was very shaky and breathing like a shuddering breath and was still crying into the phone and was very panicked. It took about 2 minutes of the phone call trying to calm her down, to explain what had happened, why she was calling so early. And even then, it was still hard to kind of understand what she was talking about. It was obvious that something very wrong had happened, and she just kept repeating, "Oh my God, I watched them burn. Oh my God, I watched them burn." Just over and over again. Just a plane hit the building, and I watched them burn.
I was in such shock and just, I guess, disbelief of what was going on. I just remember repeating myself over and over, telling her, like, it's on fire. I know they're dead. I know they're gone. And I couldn't breathe because I felt like I was going to have a panic attack. And, she just kept telling me, "Mom, just let's calm down, take a breath, calm down." So she tried to help me calm down some. We were on the phone for a few minutes, and, my phone kept ringing. I had other friends calling me, other customers that were reaching out to me to try and find out what was going on.
How did those regular customers that were calling, First of all, I think it's kind of interesting that these customers had your cell phone number.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, this is like family, like you said.
It really was, yeah.
How did they even know anything had happened? Were these people that were showing up for breakfast?
No, by this time, the police had all the traffic blocked off, so nobody could get down there. But everyone could see the fire that was going on. They know it was in our area, and a lot of my customers did have my number. I had a lot of contacts. You use your contacts for anything, but I did have a lot of customers reach out to me and other friends that were hearing about it, reaching out. And so when I was on the phone with my daughter, I was like, I gotta go. I gotta get off the phone.
I can imagine there's probably, and this is probably true in every city. I know it is here locally. There are local Facebook groups like, what's happening in Odessa. And as soon as somebody posts something on there, especially with a picture, that just spreads immediately. Everybody knows.
Yeah, immediately. And where we are located, there's a fairly large subdivision, so everybody's like, what's going on? I see smoke. What's happening? So word travels fast.
Did you stick around, or what about your coworkers, the ladies?
They were in the parking lot basically until they were able to leave. They were really shaken up. I'm out of the coworker, Naomi. She had her family out in the parking lot. And basically everyone, they stayed there until the fire department kind of opened the road and they were able to leave. Both of them did leave. I don't know where they went after that. I did stay. I stayed until about 5 o'clock that day. The owners showed up and we knew we had to get everything out of there. There was no electricity, so we couldn't just leave all of our food in there. We knew we had to get it out. I don't know. I felt like I had to stay and help, so that's what I did.
How quickly did the fire get put out?
I believe it took them 30, 45 minutes to get it put out. Obviously, there was a full tank of jet fuel on the plane, so it did burn for quite a while. The owners did have another restaurant in Monaghan's, so we just started loading up all of our perishable items, and they ended up taking it over to their other store in Monaghan's. And we had a full line of food, the ready-made food. Basically, all that went in the trash because we didn't know what else to do with it. Everything was covered in roofing insulation and dust and dirt, so it would not have been good to feed the public with that. All the police and everything were coming up and asking what happened. Since I did witness the plane coming at the building, I was told that I would need to be interviewed by the FAA and that I couldn't leave until I did that. So I knew I couldn't leave and go anywhere until I'd done that interview. So we were just there trying to clean things up as best we could while we waited for that. And I want to say that they finally showed up maybe around 11 or 12 o'clock. At that time, I did the interview. At that point, I could have left, but I wasn't going to leave the owners and just be like, okay, y'all take care of this. This was my family, my home, and I'm not just going to walk out on that. One of my regular customers who over the years had been really amazing and had done things to help me out in the past, they were one of the first ones to reach out. The wife, Jamie, called and was like, oh my God, are you okay? I'm going to come get you. And I was like, I can't leave. You can't get in here. All the roads are closed. She's like, I'm coming to get you. She did try to come down there, but of course they turned her away because the roads were all blocked off. Anyways, later in the day, the husband called me, Ty. He called and was like, let me bring you guys lunch because he knew we were still there. I had been in communication with them, off and on as I had time. So maybe around, 12:30, 1 o'clock, he showed up, or both of them, the husband and wife, they showed up with like a fajita tray. It was enough to feed many people, but there was only 3 of us. And I just remember trying to clean off all the dust and insulation to sit down inside of our basic destroyed restaurant and just sitting there eating fajitas, still in disbelief as to what was going on.
I'm just picturing that moment with no electricity, so it's probably a little dark inside,
Yes, it was dark and it was very hot because it was in August in West Texas. So it was probably 90, 95 degrees that day. It was pretty hot inside.
And you're sitting in your destroyed restaurant eating fajitas with one of your regular customers. That's got to just be a surreal moment.
Yeah, it really was. The customers did not stay. They just dropped the food off with us.
Okay.
So it was just me and the owners, the husband and the wife, Liz and Ivan, and we just sat there and ate lunch and talked about what are we going to do, what's going to happen.
Did they have insurance to cover something like this?
Yes, of course they had property insurance, and that's what they are using to try and get things back up and running.
That rebuilds the building, but it doesn't take care of you, right? I mean, you're not going to be working for a little while.
Well, we have been fortunate that their insurance has allowed them to continue to pay just our base pay.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So at this point, we are still getting paid. We don't know how long for. So we have been fortunate in that aspect.
And as we record this happened, you said in August, so it's only about 6 months ago.
Yes.
And just as an aside, you said sometime around this time, Facebook showed you a memory of something previous. What was that?
On my Facebook memories that night, I saw a picture that I had shared where on August 20th, I don't remember if it was 3 or 4 years previous, but that there was another small plane crash at that airport that I had witnessed that day too. And I was just like, what are the odds of that?
How did you witness it? Was that crash just on the airport property?
Yeah, it was just a small plane that was trying to land. They had some kind of issue. Nobody got hurt in that incident. And I just remember walking by the front window of the restaurant and I see fire out of the corner of my eye. And I was like, oh, that's not supposed to be there.
I guess when you work in a place and you have a view of an airport all the time, eventually you're going to see some stuff.
Yeah, we didn't see a lot of things, but it was just I thought it was kind of odd. Both of them were on August 20th, and I remember cracking a joke with the owner that day and was like, okay, well, August 20th apparently is crash day, and I'm not working on August 20th anymore.
You want to make sure you take that day off.
Yeah.
Did you ever find out what caused the plane crash?
At this point, it's still under investigation with the FAA. We don't have any definitive information as to exactly what happened.
And we do know that there were 2 people in the plane.
Yes, yeah.
And they unfortunately did not survive.
No, they did not.
And, of course, it was the leading local news story that night.
Yes, of course it was. It's we're a big area, but also a small town, I guess. So yeah, it was big news.
Well, 2 people were killed and another was injured when a small plane crashed in an Odessa neighborhood. It happened yesterday morning and caught several homes and shops on fire. The 2 people on board did not survive the crash. Firefighters had to pull an injured woman from one of the homes. The cause of this crash is under investigation.
Here's a really interesting part of the story. The couple who brought you lunch that day, you said they had helped you before. What happened earlier?
They had been my customers the entire time I worked there. And the year previous, I had an incident where I wrecked my truck coming back from Dallas, and I didn't have enough insurance to cover it. They showed up the next day and were like, we're going to pay to fix your truck, because they knew that was my only form of transportation. They arranged to take it to one of their friends' body shop mechanic, and they paid for it. And it's situations like that where, sometimes it makes you realize there are still some good people out there. And that made me appreciate my customers and my job and everything just a little bit more.
And obviously they were regulars. They knew you. They knew the problems that you were having. And I guess that act kind of covered some tips well into the future, huh?
A little bit, yeah. It basically enabled me to not have to struggle to try and find another car. And again, at that time, I picked my granddaughters up from school anywhere from 3 to 4 days a week. And then, of course, I'm working my second job. So I definitely depended on my vehicle. So
Yeah, you got to have reliable transportation.
yes.
Yeah.
So
And these people were regulars at the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
They called you that same night. What was that phone call?
They called me later that night, and it was the husband, Ty, that called me. And he was like, look, we know you're not going to be able to work for a while. We would love to have you come and join our team, whether it's temporary or whether it's a permanent change. He's like, we're going to take care of you. So whenever you're ready, let us know. You can come work with us. They do valve repairs for natural gas compressors. So they do have a repair shop. This area is oil and gas. So it's a very prominent industry here.
Okay, now I'm trying to think. You were a server at a diner and you worked at a boarding kennel for dogs.
Mm-hmm.
What experience did you have with natural gas compressor valves?
Absolutely done. Absolutely done.
So they wanted you for you, not for your skills or experience.
Yes. They had told me a few times in the past, that they were considering trying to talk me into working with them because they came in so often. They knew how I worked and my personality and the fact that I was dedicated to my job and, took pride in what I did. Sometimes that's hard to find.
It really is. And because in that part, you can't really train. You can train people on how to do a job,
mm-hmm.
but just being a good person and an ethical worker and showing up on time
mm-hmm.
and all of that, that's kind of, that comes with the person.
Yeah, absolutely. And so at the time, they had also helped me another time after my accident. I eventually did have to buy a new car. I just had too many problems with it. So I just told myself, you know what? Suck it up. Let's do what we have to do. That's when I had got my second job to help pay for this brand new car, which I had another customer who helped me get into that. He was a finance manager for one of the dealerships. And again, I used my customers and their connections, and it was very beneficial at times. So anyways, I was at that point working 7 days a week, and I had been working 7 days a week for 5 months straight. And I was just burnt out. And the Cup, Ty and Jamie, they could see that. And shortly before Christmas, they came in and they handed me a check for $4,000. And I just remember the husband telling me, take some time off. You need it. And if you don't, you're going to forget what you're doing this for. In that point, I was just also in disbelief because I'm just like, what have I done to deserve this? But because of that, I was able to take a week off at Christmas, even though then I got sick and was with COVID and was sick for 2 weeks.
Well, you would have taken that time off anyway.
Apparently, yeah. But at least then I, had a little cushion to help cover my expenses at that time.
When you just said, what have I done to deserve this?
Yes.
You've been a good person. You do deserve it.
Sometimes you struggle with that. Like, am I?
I know.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. So they're offering you a job. How did they know how much money you need or how much you need to make? Was that a discussion?
It was a discussion. I did take a few days off just to, contemplate what just happened. So basically a week after the accident, I went into their office and they basically just told me, what do you need? So I was just open. I said, look, this is what I need to make. This between both jobs, this is what I make. Minimum, that's what I need. And he said, okay, no problem. And that, no question, they just paid me what I needed to make.
You're a tough negotiator.
Basically, it was very humbling because, again, I'm just like, what have I done to deserve this? There's a lot of people who would be in this situation and it would be devastating, life-changing. And I just was very humbled to have people in my life that were willing to do things like that.
It's interesting to me. I think of this. You said you worked at the restaurant for about 6 years,
mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
It's almost like you were on a 6-year job interview with these people.
I guess you could look at it that way, yeah.
That's how they got to know who you really were.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there were times they would come in to have breakfast and, sit there for an hour or two. And if we weren't busy, we sat there and talked, not as customers or, employee customer, just as people. And, I did that with a lot of my customers if I had time to, and I really enjoyed those interactions with them. I always had this thought that I wanted to serve people the way I would enjoy having someone serve me. Always cracking jokes with people, making them laugh. I would tell people you got food and entertainment at the same time. They never knew what to expect from me on any visit.
That's what kept him coming back, I'm sure.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, they just never knew what to expect. And, you can come in for a quick bite or lunch or breakfast and, relax and have a laugh.
I'm thinking for the owner of the restaurant, he's got to be a little bit sad that you're not going to be coming back.
I think at this point, they realize, I'm not going to, but there's also been issues with the insurance and, everything that's going on where I don't think they're going to be able to get it back open. They've been having issues with the county and the airport and the insurance. And I think at this point, I don't know for sure, but I think at this point, they're just not going to pursue it.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
How did this new job, what changed in your life?
With this job, it enabled me to, one, make enough money that I did not have to work both jobs. I was burnt out. I was exhausted. So I did quit my job at the kennel. The owners of the business that I work at now, my customers, they had a family member who had a one-bedroom townhouse that they offered to me. And housing here is very expensive because of the oil field. That's why I lived in the camper, because it was affordable to me. So with this, I guess, it's not a pay increase, but it just enabled me to only work 5 days a week at the same rate of pay. I did agree to move in. I needed space, somewhere better to live. So I did move into this townhouse.
And this is a rental situation.
Yeah, it is a rental situation, but it's a much bigger place. And because of that, I have a place for my kids to come and stay with me when they come in from out of town, which, is quite frequently. Whereas before, they really couldn't stay with me because my camper was so small.
And you get a couple of days off every week.
Yeah, I still feel weird about having free time. I'm like, I don't know what to do with myself. I have called the kennel a couple of times, like, hey, do you guys need help? I can come help on some of the weekends.
It's interesting that for someone that works all the time, having that downtime or free time is something you kind of have to learn.
Yeah, I mean, it's been 6 months, and I finally gotten to a point where I'm like, okay, I can enjoy my time off, but in the beginning, I don't know, I felt guilty not working all the time.
Okay, talking about feeling guilty, you've said that you feel guilty about what happened. Why is that?
I just feel this guilt feeling because my life has changed for the better. I was given these opportunities that would not have happened without that crash. And I just feel guilty because, 2 people died and my life has gotten better. Not because of that, but, just because of the incident. And sometimes I struggle with feeling happy about the situation. And it's hard to appreciate it sometimes. So I just try and remind myself every day, make what happened appreciated, I guess. I've just been struggling with that a little bit.
I can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
The people that were in the plane, did you happen to know them at all, or were they residents of Odessa, or do you know anything about them?
I didn't know them. From what I have read and heard, they had some kind of oil field company here in Odessa, but I don't believe that they lived here.
Okay, so now how long have you been at the new place, your new work?
I did start exactly a week after the accident, and I've been there since.
And are you enjoying it?
I do enjoy it. It's a lot less stressful, but also I'm like, I don't have anyone to bullshit with every day. I enjoyed those interactions with customers. I still talk to my coworkers, but, it's not the same just seeing all these other people every day. But it has been really good.
How quickly did you learn how to do that work?
Oh my God, I'm still learning.
There's a lot to it, huh?
Yes, yeah, to go in with zero experience. Sometimes I still feel overwhelmed, like, oh my, what am I doing? But everyone has been really good. Here, this is what we're doing. This is how you figure it out. This is how to get everything done, and given me grace because I didn't know anything.
And they knew that going in. So
this
absolutely.
is
not a big surprise at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, one final question. Has this experience changed you in any way, like how you look at life and death?
I don't think I've really processed what had happened until the day after the accident, when I was at the restaurant again. We had our back door open, and of course customers were, passing by. They saw cars, and I had another regular who came into the back door, and he was just like, "Oh my God, what happened? Are you okay?" I just told him, I was like, I'm still in shock. And he said, "Well, it wasn't your time. There's something better. There's another plan for you." And at that moment, I kind of did break down, because I'm like, oh my God, like, I could have died yesterday. It's been a very humbling and, just grateful experience, and makes me more appreciative of everything that is life. And I look at things differently, because at any time we could be gone in a blink of an eye. So I feel like I have tried to appreciate the small things and just be grateful for everything that we do have.
It's a good way to look at it. Yeah. Yeah, when you were going to open the front door and you saw that plane's lights coming at you, if it were 10 or 15 feet lower in altitude, it could have come right into the restaurant rather than just scraping, taking the roof off.
I feel like it was, even if it was even 3 feet lower, it would have come into the building, which still, I have trouble with airplane sounds at this point. I still dream about seeing those lights coming at me and the sound. Yeah, it's hard to deal with sometimes.
Have you thought about therapy at all?
I've thought about it, but, I just haven't done it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And honestly, I kind of felt like being able to talk about it, on this podcast with you would, help a little bit.
And I'm not even going to charge you anything.
Even better. A win-win.
Right. All right. Well, Marsha, I'm glad it turned out well for you, and I appreciate you sharing your story.
Well, I thank you for having me.
If you want to see pictures of Marsha and her daughter, Kaylee, as well as pictures of the damaged diner, that's all in the episode notes at whatwasthatlike.com/207. And also on that page is information about Pappy's Barbecue, which is the other restaurant owned by the same couple who owned the diner that was destroyed. It's in Monahans, Texas, if you want to go get something to eat and patronize a small business. Okay, tonight's the big night. This is the night Meredith and I are doing our listener meetup on Zoom, and you are invited. This is going to happen from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's today, which is February 21, 2025. So if you're listening to this after that date, you missed it. We might do another one, though. And the link for the Zoom is whatwasthatlike.com/chat, C-H-A-T. And I'll say that again in about 30 seconds. Anyway, Meredith and I will be asking each other some questions, and anyone who's there can also ask questions or comment, or, hey, you can just hang out and observe. You don't have to speak. You don't even have to have your camera on. It's just whatever you're comfortable with. We were just thinking it'd be kind of fun to do this and get to know the people who listen to the show. So once again, it's tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and the link to get in the Zoom is whatwasthatlike.com/chat. I'm really hoping to see you there. And don't forget, after the listener story today, I'll have all of the 911 calls that I was able to secure for this incident with the plane crash that Marsha talked about today. It's a lot. It's like 30 calls. And just about every one of them is the same dispatcher. I thought that was kind of unusual. Graphics for this episode were created by Bob Bretz. Full episode transcription was created by James Lai. And now, this week's listener story. On every episode, at the end, we play a story that was sent in by a listener. Usually they're like 5 to 10 minutes long. Just some personal experience that was interesting or funny, or just something that people might like to hear. If you have a story like that, record it on your phone and email it to scott@whatwasthatlike.com. This week's listener story needs a content warning for sexual assault. Stay safe, and I'll see you tonight on Zoom, right?
My name is Brittany, and I live in Arizona. I am 30 years old. This happened last December. At the time, I was 29. I had just left my ex-fiance of 6 years. We kind of grew apart, so we broke up. And immediately, I was ready to get back out into the dating world. So I had no idea how scary the dating world is in this day and age. I feel like at this point of being 30, it's really just trying to look through like the clearance rack of men and finding like the best deal. Because all the good ones are either married or, don't want to be in a relationship, I guess. But so I was on Facebook dating and, doing my little swipey thing, left and right. And I came across this one guy and I thought he was cute. So I swiped right. We started messaging, and something that I really liked about him that drew me to him was that he, was a homeowner. He had a good job. And, I also, have my own house and have a good job. So I was running into a lot of the type of people that want to kind of use me for that. So I was like, oh, okay, well, this guy is a little bit different than all of the other ones that I'm coming across. So we're talking, and I don't know, I just kind of had like this weird gut feeling in my stomach that told me that something just wasn't right. Well, I went against my better judgment and decided to go and hang out with him. And I should have known from the start that this was a sign. I did not want him to come to my house. I'm very much like come to my house kind of person. I don't like being out of my element. But I decided to go to his house. So I don't know what made me do it, but I did. I think I was just so desperate to find love at the time. So I ended up going to this guy's house, and I sent my location to my best friend and told her, hey, I'm going to this guy's house. He only lived like 5 minutes away from me, and it was in the same neighborhood as my best friend. So the fact that I decided to send my location to her, which I had never done previously or felt the need to, was a sign, which, by the way, I do every time now that I end up meeting somebody off of the internet. So I went to his house, and I get inside, and everything is pretty good. Like, he's not a catfish or anything. So I go inside, and we're just kind of hanging out, listening to music. He's smoking a lot of weed, which I don't smoke. I don't have an issue with it, but I don't smoke it. And he's drinking a lot. He offers me a drink, and I'm like, no, thank you. I don't want to drink at some random guy's house that I've never met before. He offers me a water, and I'm like, oh, sure. And he gets up, and he's in the kitchen for like at least 2 or 3 minutes getting my water, which I was like, why is it taking him so long? It's just weird. So when he brought back the water, I decided to not drink it because I didn't know like if he had put something in it or not. Like I didn't want to chance it. So I never drank that water. A couple hours go by, and by this point, he's very, very drunk. And he's starting to slur his words and, all that stuff. So he starts kissing me, and I guess I'm too nice. I should have told him to stop, but I didn't. So he's kissing me and stuff, and he eventually starts trying to put his hand down my pants, and I tell him, no, I don't want you to do that. So he starts trying to just pull my pants down. And he just was like, I really just want to see. I just want to see. And I was like, no, thank you. Like, I don't want to do that. And I had to tell this guy like at least 20 times, no exaggeration, to please stop, that I didn't want him to touch me or, you know, pull my pants down or anything like that. And he just kept trying. And we'd just be in the middle of a conversation and he would just really quickly like try to pull my pants down. And so I'm at this point like, okay, I need to leave, but he's so erratic that I'm afraid to like be like, I'm leaving and, you know, just get up and leave. I didn't feel safe. I didn't know how he would react. So I decided to kind of write it out and just be very aware and kind of hint at like, oh, you know, it's getting late. I'm getting tired. I need to leave. Well, so I kind of start telling him like, oh, you know, it's getting kind of late. I'm probably going to leave here soon. Like, I don't want him to think that I'm leaving for any reason other than the fact that I'm just tired and it's late, because I just felt like he would be offended and maybe he would try to hurt me or something. So we're kind of just hanging out there, still listening to music. And he asks me, he's like, are you a girl that's like always scared of everything? I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, I don't know, just like scared of stuff like, you know, murder and stuff like that. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, of course. I don't feel like there's very many people who aren't. And we were in a pitch black room with just the TV on. And he was like, well, you see that dark corner over there? And I was like, yes. And he was like, don't go over there. I was like, okay, why? And he was like, because that's where I'm going to kill you. And I was like, that's not funny. Like, don't joke about that. And he's like dying laughing. Like, he's drunk off his mind. And he just thinks it's the funniest thing ever that he just said. So I'm like, okay, like, that's so weird. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm probably going to go soon. It's just getting kind of late. And he pulls his pants down and he just lays on top of me and is like kissing me. I literally had to push him off with all my force. And he was like, well, can you please just spend the night? Can you please spend the night? And I was like, no, I don't want to. He's like, please, I'm not going to have sex with you. And I was like, oh, well, good, because I don't want to. And he was like, well, I wouldn't rape you. If I did, it would be an accident. And I was like, oh my God, like so scared. Just my adrenaline is going. And I just feel like it's not safe to leave because I didn't know how he was going to react. So finally, maybe like 20 minutes later, I'm like, all right, I think it's probably time for me to go. I'm very tired. And he was like, okay, fine. So I, get up and I grab my purse and I'm getting ready to walk out. And he had like this, 75-pound pit bull mix. It was a sweet dog, but I don't remember what the dog's name was. So for the sake of the story, I'm just going to call him Bear. And he looked at his dog Bear and he goes, Bear, kill her so I can have her. And I gave him like the craziest look ever. I'm like walking out the door as he's saying that. And he's like, I'm just kidding. All right, Bear, say bye to her because we'll probably never see her again. And I'm thinking to myself like, wow, you fucking think? So I made it out of there safely and I never talked to him again. That was a very traumatic experience for me. So, dating has been pretty scary and I'm pretty nervous to hang out with anybody ever since then. And public places are a definite must. And if there is something in my gut that just doesn't feel right, I just stop immediately because my gut is telling me something for a reason.
Hector County 911 with you.
We just had a plane crash. I'm over here. What street is this? A plane just crashed right in front of us.
Okay, where at?
It's a field. I don't know where, man. I'm up the old airport right here. I'm up here by the old airport off 385 and Andrews.
What did it crash into?
It crashed into a house. Y'all need to get over here. Everything on fire, man. It hit a power line and everything. Like, it's smoking. It just took off from the airport. Okay,
so like from Schleiermeyer Field?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the phone number you're calling from?
432-246-1568. Yeah, I gotta get over here, man.
Okay,
I thought I was fucking sipping, bro.
Do you know the street of the house that it crashed into?
You scoot up a little? Bring it up so I can see it. I'm trying to see it right now. Hey, put out this shit. Yeah, it crashed. It hit a power line.
Okay, is it an Aldifer?
Let me see. Let me look on my map. I can't. Oh, fuck, man. That's scary. If he screwed up, we can get that street name. Yeah, he just took off from the airport. Yeah, that's fucking, that's crazy. It's by the cotton. We're right here by the cotton pipe yard.
That's right there by his house.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, you might have to call. We're right here by the cotton
We
pipe
already have
yard.
help on the way there, but I need to know exactly what it is that's going on and that you see.
Man, the plane is on fire. Y'all need to get over here. Some people probably be dead. That's how bad it is, man. I know for sure it hit somebody's house. No, I can't. I haven't even drove up to it. I pulled up on the side of the road, but that's it. That's it. It's bad. It's black smoke everywhere. It's like trees and everything finna catch on fire.
Okay, all right. We have this in and we have help on the way. Okay, just stay away.
I got to call. Yeah, it's blowing up too. I got to call my homeboy because it crashed like kind of over there by his house. Yeah, his house is right there.
Okay, all right. We have them on the way.
Dios mío, hay un incendio cerca de mi casa.
Ma'am, I need you to take a deep breath for me. I can't hear what you're saying. Tell me what happened.
Ay, Perla.
Ma'am.
La policía dice que hay un incendio, corra.
Ma'am, what is your address?
It's 1604 Alderfer Avenue, Odessa.
Okay, where at ma'am, where at on Alderfer?
Hello.
Hello, this is 911. What is the address of the emergency?
It's 6804 Alderfer Avenue.
Okay, and tell me exactly what happened.
I just heard a big pop and a trailer exploded.
Okay, a trailer exploded?
Yes. There's a lot of fire. Furby, move him this way with him. Put him inside. They're all the way over there.
Okay,
oh my God.
How far away from that address is it?
Ma'am, it's right in front of us, ma'am. It's right in front of us, and there's a lot of trailers, ma'am.
Okay, so it's the trailer directly in front of yours?
Yes, and something. Huh?
Okay.
Oh, it's an airplane that fell, ma'am.
It was an airplane that fell?
Yeah, I think so. It's an airplane or a jet.
Okay, so. Okay.
Toño, don't go in there. Toño, don't go in there.
Okay, we've gotten somebody out there. They're already on the way, okay? Do not hang up.
Okay.
Okay, what is your phone number, ma'am?
Jen! Tell her to calm down.
Ma'am, do you know if anybody's inside the house?
Está bien. Fíjate, niño, está bien.
Ma'am, I need you to talk to me.
Jen, vida.
Ma'am, what is your name?
Mira, my name is Perla. Vida, mira lo que pasó, mira, Toño.
Okay.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Are there any people inside the trailer?
Enfrente de nosotros, amor.
Ma'am, I need you to talk to me. I'm giving this information to the medics, but I need you to talk to me.
Yes, ma'am.
Inside the trailer.
I'm not sure, ma'am. I'm not really sure. We just heard a big pop, and I came outside because I have kids here.
Okay. What is the phone number y'all are calling from?
I'm not sure what the number is, ma'am. It's my neighbor's phone.
Okay, I'm showing 307-522-7108. Does that sound correct?
Yes.
Okay, I know that this plane hit one trailer. Is there any other trailers on board?
Yes, ma'am. Right next to it, another one.
How many trailers are on fire?
I don't want to get close to it, ma'am, because a lot of things are popping. I'm not sure if it's gasoline or what it is.
I'm not asking you to get close. I'm asking you to tell me what you can see. How many trailers can you see?
Like 2 trailers, señor? It's 2 trailers.
Okay.
So there's a pole fire in the
Try
back.
to put the fire out and try to keep all bystanders away from the area. If anything gets worse in any way, call us back immediately for further instructions. Okay?
Okay, ma'am. I can see that there's a lot of cops here down the road.
Okay. Yes, and we also have the medics en route. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Acton County 911, what's the address of your emergency?
We just saw a plane crash. I just watched the plane crash.
Where at?
On Yukon, right by the fire station, right across from the fire station on Yukon. It hit a power line and it's burning. It's burning.
Okay, we have them out there, ma'am. Okay, we're going to get somebody out there. Do you know how many? It was just a plane?
It was just a small plane. It took off from the airport, hit a power line on the south side of Yukon, and it's burning. It's just black smoke. It's literally across the fire station on Yukon.
Yes, ma'am. We're going to get somebody out there. Thank you, okay?
Should I stay here? Do you need me to stay here?
Okay. You don't have to, ma'am, if you don't want to.
Oh, gosh. This is... Okay.
Thank you.
I think I'll...
Acton County 911, what's the address of the emergency?
Yes, ma'am. There was a wreck, ran through a building at the corner of Yukon and Alderfer, 600 Yukon.
Okay. And
there's holy goodness, there's a fire in the back of a house.
Okay. Was it an airplane crash or was it a car ran through the house?
No, we think it's a car. It went went through, busted a power line.
Okay.
Went through the building.
Okay.
And there's a fire behind it. I don't know what caused this fire right this minute.
Okay. All right, we'll get somebody out there. Do you know if anyone's injured, or are you close?
We do not know at this time.
Okay.
We're trying to determine that.
Okay, we'll get somebody out there.
It was a plane, ma'am.
Was a plane? Okay.
It was a plane.
Okay. Well, we have somebody on the way.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Bye-bye. Acton County 911, what's the address of the emergency?
Hello, something just happened. I live at 6806 Stevenson. There's a fire in the alley.
Yes, ma'am. We have we have the fire department on the way.
Come on, get the dog. Get the dog.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, are you injured? Ma'am, are you injured?
Get out of here. Come on. Come on. Come on. You can't come down. Come on. Come on. Oh, God, Debbie. This is a fire.
Ma'am, we're on the way. Acton County 911.
Yes, I'm over here at it looks like a house is exploded.
We have them. We're getting them out there, okay?
Yeah, boy.
Hello? Acton County 911, what's the address of your emergency? Okay, okay, ma'am. Where's the fire at? Okay, ma'am. We're gonna get you help. Give me the address one more time. Okay, is it a plane crash, ma'am? Is it near Stevenson? Okay, ma'am. Are you in any danger?
No, you just call me.
Okay, ma'am. We do have the call in, okay? All right, thank you. Acton County 911, what's the address of the emergency? Acton County 911.
There's a fire on 6708 Alderfer.
Yes, sir. We're on the way.
And there's people screaming. Yes, ma'am.
Sir. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Uh-huh.
Acton County 911.
Hi. There's a huge explosion on Yukon.
Okay, we do have them out there. We're getting them out there, okay?
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Ector County 911, what's the address of the emergency?
It's off of Yukon, a plane crash.
Yes, ma'am, we're on the way.
All righty.
Thank you.
ma'am.
Bye-bye. Ector County 911, what's the address to your emergency?
Yes, ma'am. I'm over here by 6335 Bennefield Avenue, and something just exploded over here going to the right of 6339.
Okay, yes, ma'am. We do have that call in, and we have the fire department on the way. Do you see anything, or do you know exactly what it is that's going on?
No, I don't know. My husband went to see, but there's a lot of black smoke coming out.
Okay, yes, ma'am. We have help on the way.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Uh-huh.
Ector County 911, what's the address of the emergency?
Hey, I think, I don't know, something just blew up.
Yes, ma'am. We have a plane crash on Oliver. We're on the way out there.
Okay, we have a fire on
ma'am,
Boulder.
Fire department's on the way out there. It's
Okay,
all related.
all right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Bye-bye. Ector County 911, what's the address of the emergency?
It's on 6718 Stevenson Avenue.
Yes, ma'am. We're on the way out there for a fire and a plane crash. We're on the way.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Ector County 911, what's the address to your emergency?
Yes, I'm on Boulder, between just off of Yukon, and there's a fire, a grass fire because of an electrical line down. It had sparks and it caused a fire.
Where is this at, ma'am?
What is that right there at Yukon? I mean Boulder. It's like what was that street that intersects?
Okay, over by off of Yukon.
Yes, it's
okay,
off.
yes,
it's
ma'am.
off
We
of
have that
Yukon.
call in. We have the fire department on the way.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Actually, I think there's a couple of fires. Yeah, hopefully the fire department will see this other fire. It's a big one.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
All right.
We do have that in. We have them on the way.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Bye. Ector County 911, what's the address of the emergency?
Big Sonic.
I'm sorry?
Big Sonic.
No, I don't have nobody speak Spanish. Can I help you?
Yes, yeah.
Talking about a fire?
Yeah, fire.
On Alderford, we're on the way.
Okay.
Thank you. Ector County 911, what's the address of your emergency?
It's on Alabama, and I don't know the other street, but we got a fire going on, honey.
Okay, Alabama, and what's on fire?
I don't know.
Okay, ma'am, we do have a plane crash in that area. Okay. Is your house on fire?
Not yet.
Okay.
That's why I'm calling. I'm about to put some water on my area because it's close to home, honey.
Okay, ma'am. Is Alderfer close to you?
Huh?
Is Alderfer Street close to you?
Yes, it is.
Okay, that's where the plane crash is, okay? Just get yourself out of danger, okay? If you're in that area, you need to leave. Okay? All right, thank you.
Because I can see black smoke.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Bye-bye. Ector County 911, what's the address of the emergency?
Yes, I'm on Yukon and across from, I don't know what the street is.
Yes, ma'am. We're on the way for a structure fire and an airplane crash. We're on the way. Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye. Ector County 911, what is the address of the emergency?
I don't know the address, but it's my neighbor's house. My address is 6722 Stevenson. His house is on fire.
Okay, what street do they live on?
They're on Stevenson as well. I think it's like 69th and Stevenson.
Okay, so his house at 69th and Stevenson is also on fire?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm at work right now, but my wife just called me. She said she's tried to call 3 times and the line hasn't gone through. So
yes, sir, because we have a major incident in that area. That's why I'm trying to ask exactly where your friend's house is, because we're trying to see.
I don't know the
separate one.
Yeah, I don't know the exact address. I'm just giving you my address, and he's literally across the street from me.
Okay, what is your phone number, sir?
432 248 9952.
And what is your name, sir?
Charles Van Zandt.
Okay. Well, we already have the fire department and medics en route to that area, and we are getting more units out there. If you get a hold of your friend and he needs further assistance, have him give us a call, okay, since you're not on the scene.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for your assistance. Bye-bye.
Hector County 911, what's the address of the emergency?
Ma'am, I don't know. I think it's right here on Golder and about 80-something. I just heard a boom.
Yes, ma'am. It's on Alderfer. We have help on the way.
Okay, and I don't have no electricity.
Yes, ma'am. It was a plane crash, and it knocked out everything over there.
Oh, no.
Yes,
oh,
ma'am.
no.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye. Oh, that's the police department. This is Joyce. How may I help you?
Hey, it's Midland there. Y'all gonna need any help?
I don't know. I'm not supposed to be here. This is Midland. Are we going to need any help? I'll call you back if we do, okay? All right, thanks. Bye-bye.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. This is 911. Did you have an emergency?
Yes, my house caught on fire, but I think you guys got here already.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
My truck, she was out on the porch.
What's the address to your emergency?
Right next door. Yes, it's 5718 North Stevenson Street.
Okay.
There's an explosion of fire right down the road from
Yes,
my house.
we do have a major
I'm at work
incident.
right now.
We have a major incident going on in the area. We do have the fire department and police on the way.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I was just calling to make sure y'all knew about it.
Yes, sir. We do. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ector County 911. That's the police department. This is Joyce. How may I help you?
Hey, Miss Joy, this is Kim at the district police department out there near Yukon.
Yeah, we have an airplane crash.
Opening's advising it was an airplane crash. Do you have the area?
We're getting 6804 Alderfer around Yukon, and Alderfer Stevenson is calling in, Alabama. I guess there's some buildings on fire. It's a big mess. Okay.
Okay, all right.
All right, thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ector County 911, what is the address of the emergency?
I'm not sure what the address is, but I think it's off of Stoner Road. There's black smoke coming from, I guess, maybe one of the houses. I'm not sure. I live down the street.
Okay, so what is your address, ma'am?
My address is 2515 Stephen Road.
Which direction is the smoke coming from?
The east side.
So it's coming from east of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Give me just a moment. We have a major incident going on. I'm trying to see how close it is to you because it does involve a fire. So give me just one moment, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Not a problem.
Okay. Yes, that's going to be involving that incident. Okay. You already have the fire department and medics en route, and most of them just arrived on, or starting to arrive on scene. Do you need an ambulance, or are you all right?
No, ma'am. We're okay. I just came outside because our power went out.
Uh-huh.
And I had seen that, so.
Yes, ma'am. It's infecting the electricity as well as several houses in that area. So you're going to see smoke for a while, and I don't know how long it's going to take for Encore to get your electricity back up and running.
Okay, yes, no worries. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
County 911, what's the address of your emergency?
Hi, I was wondering if someone's already called in a fire.
Yes, we have an airplane crash around Yukon and Alderfer. It's a big one. There's several buildings on fire.
Okay, I just want to make sure someone's dispatched already.
Yes, ma'am, yes. Fire department just got on scene, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
How can I help you?
There's something burning, and I heard an explosion here on Yukon.
Yes, sir. We have that call in already, okay?
Oh, are y'all going over there now?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, okay, bye.
Ector County 911, what's the address of your emergency?
I need fire, I guess it would be. I'm a crossing guard right here at Goliad Elementary School off of 52nd Street, and right directly behind Goliad, maybe 4 to 5 minutes ago, there was a huge explosion.
Yes, ma'am. We do have that call in, and they're already on the way, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Ector County 911, what's the address of your emergency?
Hi, hello. I live over here off of Ratliff Ridge, off of 91st
Yes,
in
ma'am.
Evans.
Uh-huh.
And I just heard a big loud bang, and I came outside, and I'm seeing a bunch of smoke.
Yes,
I don't know if there's
we had an airplane crash. Yes, ma'am. Over, it would be to the west of you.
Yes, the west.
Okay.
I heard another loud bang.
Yes, ma'am. They're getting several explosions also. Okay, just stay away from that area. Okay, there's lines all over the ground too. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure it was under control.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Ector County 911, what's the address to your emergency?
Yes, hi. I live off of Evans, and there's a big smoke, and we just heard a boom. We don't know where it's coming from, though. It's like right here by Evans and 87.
Evans and 87?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. A bunch of smoke, and we just heard a boom, so I don't know what's on fire.
Okay, we do have a big incident over off of Yukon, close to Anderson Highway. We have a major incident that's kind of all over in that area on the other side of Yukon, and so it's possibly related to that, but I'm going to go ahead and send somebody over there in your area to go check it out as well.
Okay, yeah, because I'm right here by Evans, and I can see the big smoke, but I was just in bed, and we heard a big boom, so I don't know where it could be.
Do you think that it's off of 87th, or do you feel like it's further south?
It's like more further south, not on Evans, but I can see the smoke. It looks like it's right there on where you're staying at, kind of like where thing like the Andrews Highway, is the Andrews Highway, and
Okay, yes, ma'am. Yeah, we have fire units that are showing up on scene now. We have others on the way.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, bye-bye.
Ector County 911, what's the address of your emergency?
Yes, ma'am. I'm just driving, taking my daughter to school, and right off of Yukon, there's a fire. I don't know where it's coming from. I just wanted to make sure y'all knew about it.
Yes, ma'am. We had a plane crash in that area, so just avoid the area, okay? All right.
Oh, wow. Okay, yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Right,
Bye-bye.
Thank you.